Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Vrndavana Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Vrndavana Mataji, welcome to the call and thank you so much for joining the call and giving us your association, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Flavia from Douglasville, Georgia.
Hare Krishna Flavia Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for joining the call and giving us your association, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Dharshini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all the assembled devotees on the call. This is Anita Ramya from Sharjah, UAE. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Anita Ramya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for joining the call and giving us your association, Mataji.
Jwala, no sé.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. This is Manmohan, Bhakt Manmohan from India, Bharat. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Manmohan Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Welcome to the call, Prabhuji, and thank you so much for joining and giving us your association.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Gary in Montana.
Hare Krishna, Gary Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for joining the call and giving us your association this morning. Mataji, we can start the recording. It's time.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa group. We will now move on to the next part of our session, that is Caitanya Bhagavat. The class will be given by His Grace Rāmagiridhāri Prabhu. I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote before going ahead. 30th January, if you want perfection in your business, then you must try to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, you are simply wasting your time. Bharata, Chamber of Commerce, Calcutta, January 30, 1973. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for joining the call and giving us your association and enlightening us on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavat, MAdhya khanda, chapter 7, verses 139 to 147. Thank you so much for coming on the call and giving us your association, Prabhuji. I now hand over the call to you.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sakala Vaishnava Sanghe Karila Milana. Pundarika Laya Sabe Karena Kirtanam. After meeting all the Vaishnavas, Pundarika joined them in Kirtanam. Ihara Padavi Pundarika Vidyanidhi Prema Bhakti Bilaite Dhari Lena Vidhi. His name is Pundarika Vidyanidhi. Providence has created him to distribute loving devotional service. Yei Mata Tandra Guna Varniyam Uchaishware Hari Bhale Shri Bhuja Tuliyam. While describing his qualities in this way, the Lord raised his arms and loudly chanted the name of Hari. Prabhu bhale aji subha prabhata amaram aji mahamangala se Vasi apanaram. The Lord said, today my morning was most auspicious. Today I felt the presence of great auspiciousness. Nidra haite aji uti lama subhakshane dekhi lama prema nidhi sakshat nayane. Today I must have gotten up at a most auspicious moment, for I have directly seen prema nidhi with my own eyes. Text 144. Shri prema nidhi rasi haila bahya jnanam takane se prabhu chini karila pranamham. Thereafter, Shri Premanidhi regained his consciousness. Recognizing his Lord, he offered obeisances. Advaita devera age kari namaskaram yata yogya prema bhakti karila sabharam. He offered obeisances to Shri Advaita Prabhu and then offered appropriate love and devotion to everyone else. Parananda hailena sarva bhakta ganem hena prema nidhi pundarika darshanem. All the devotees were filled with ecstasy on seeing Pundarika, who was such an ocean of love. Text 147. Kshane ke haila prema bhakti avirbhava taha varni bhara patra vyasa mahabhagam. Only the most fortunate Vyasadeva is qualified to describe the love and devotion that manifest at that time. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namahom Vishnu Padayam Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are in a very interesting part of Caitanya Bhagavat, one of the interesting pastime of Gadadhar Pandit meeting Pundarika Vidyanidhi, and eventually Pundarika Vidyanidhi coming and meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You all would have read about the wonderful association, tight embrace that Pundarika Vidyanidhi had with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So much so that both of them, they were two people but seen as one single one. That much they were glued to each other and enjoying, celebrating their association together. It is natural that when devotees see each other, meet each other, there is a natural instantaneous happiness one derives. We may not know each other, we may not have been introduced to one another, but just the sight of a devotee makes that particular situation a very happy situation. Happy devotees. Just by looking at the happiness in the face of the devotees, so much of all our distresses and the pains of our material world, they are forgotten. So Srila Prabhupada wanted to establish this Krishna consciousness movement for creating those happy devotees. Krishna consciousness is happily performed. Krishna consciousness devotees are happy devotees, smiling devotees. Machitta madgada prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Ramanti cha means pleasing to each other. It is not just when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Pundarika Vidyanidhi meet, this effect is seen. Of course, they are seen on a very, highest level. But this Ramanticha, the feeling of pleasingness, is experienced even amongst practicing devotees also. In fact, our hope for continuing to practice Krishna consciousness is that what pleasingness we don't get in normal materialistic outside association, we get when we see devotees. What is that reason? In the devotees association, Krishna explains, Bodhayanta parasparam. They keep sharing amongst themselves their experiences, realizations, appreciations. So when we share these things, then naturally, a smile comes in. When I share my experience, how Krishna, helped me, how Krishna revealed things to me, how Krishna is protecting me. Because we all have a common hero, because we all have a common father, common family, Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. We naturally have same emotions towards our family, towards our father, towards our lineage. So the current scene that we are reading is actually what Pundarika Vidyanidhi is experiencing, explaining, and trying to express his happiness and pleasure whilst being with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Earlier, you all would have discussed how when Gadadhara Pandit expressed his desire to take initiation from Pundarika Vidyanidhi, he is also expressing similar happiness where he considers himself fortunate to get a disciple like that of Gadadhara Pandit. So, by and large, this whole Vaishnava transactions, even though they are happening in the material plane, even though they are happening with apparently conditioned devotees, it is still giving some transcendental flavor, transcendental effect, transcendental impact. And that impact, that effect, that flavor in Krishna consciousness helps us in sustaining our Krishna consciousness in the rest of the years to come. That is why Prabhupada says, Kevala Ananda Khanda. Probably it may, it may be seen that we are just practicing, we are having our own challenges, but just we keep, keep engaging, keep associating with devotees. It is always fulfilling. So that is why our Krishna consciousness association, Krishna consciousness services, they are all supposed to be happily performed because the net result is glorious. So this current context where Pundarika Vidyanidhi is enjoying his company, is appreciating his good fortune. So we will also talk about some fortune that we are blessed with. So as usual, we will churn this current context through some sets of reflections just to help us go deeper and learn some lessons for our Krishna conscious journey. I will just take you all back to Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 6th chapter. The scene is that Veerabhadra, who was created by Lord Shiva, had finished Daksha, had literally chopped Daksha's head off, and there's a big chaos there. And in that chaos, after everything is, every mess have been created, complete chaotic situation. So finally, when Daksha was killed, both the factions, Daksha's faction as well as the demigods, so they all went to Lord Brahma. So when Lord Brahma was approached, and they explained the situation. And in that situation, Lord Brahma is saying that this outcome that was, seen, that was experienced, is not something unexpected. I expected this much earlier, and that is one of the reasons why neither me nor Lord Vishnu participated in the fire sacrifice. In that context, there are some lessons that we can learn which can definitely be applied to these wonderful moments. In fact, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are getting to learn several moments where Vaishnavas come together and they experience transcendental bliss. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meet great devotees, both Mahaprabhu as well as the person who meeting Mahaprabhu, they get unlimited happiness. So my first reflection is about the auspiciousness, happiness, and success of our Krishna consciousness is defined in a quotient where, if we want to kind of measure how much devotees are pleased with my or our endeavor in doing some service. If Vaishnavas are pleased, if Vaishnavas are ecstatic, if Vaishnavas are offering their association, if Vaishnavas are acknowledging, then that whole endeavor is kind of considered glorious. Here it is explained that today my morning was most auspicious. What was auspiciousness? Just the meeting between Vaishnava and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Darshane pavitra koro ei tumara gunu. So the auspiciousness aspect of it is very nicely explained by Lord Brahma, saying that the moment you get to see there's an absenteeism, or technically not subscribing to your project, we better need to understand things are not going to go north, it's going to go south. So in any time in our Krishna consciousness endeavor, if we need to get any auspicious results, any happy results, anything that has to be sustainably going forward, the measuring yardstick is how much Vaishnavas are happy and pleased with this endeavor, how much Vaishnavas are being part of this endeavor and trying to be, blessing us by their presence, and how much Vaishnavas are pleased and they are blessing us with their instructions. So Brahma telling everybody, so because you guys made a big mistake, they have done such a wonderful arrangement, spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to putting up a great fire sacrifice. Daksha, who was a Prajapati, who had spent hundreds and thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, but made few fundamental mistakes. Few fundamental, principles were ignored. In terms of the quantum of work not done, it may be negligible, but in terms of the importance of them, it is primary. So my first reflection is to say, as a practicing devotee, we need to learn to cross-check when we are arranging a program, when we are trying to take an endeavor, when we are trying to perform any activity towards our personal life, both in terms of our conditional responsibility as well as towards our constitutional responsibility, we need to watch out for the backing that I am getting from Vaishnavas. If you don't see them, if you don't see their hand, if you don't see their presence, if you don't see their blessings, if you don't see their happiness, if you don't see them participating, please think twice, thrice, 4 times, nth time, because auspiciousness in our life comes through them. It is not some sort of a formality. It is not something in terms of some superficial things, and neither it is in terms of a procedural one. Incidentally, the current generation, sorry to say, even amongst devotee generation, we have kind of moved towards a template approach. What is a template approach? We look at certain components, certain presentation, certain way of doing things, and we think and classify them as some, great things. Slowly, Kali is entering. I was reading an article by Madhavananda Prabhu. He was referring to a saint by name Kanupriya Goswami. So, who is the saint as well as an Ayurvedic doctor during the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, that Kanupriya Goswami, in his book, he's making a prediction, or is making a writing, saying that this Kali Yuga is technically 432,000 years, 432, 32,000 years. And just 5,000 years are only gone. How come the effects of Kali Yuga are very much seen? And he is giving his reflection saying that because this Kali Yuga is called Dainya Kali Yuga, which is a kind of a merciful Kali Yuga because of appearance of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission is going to spread. And the Sankirtan mission is going to spread in so much so way that all the evil effects of Kali will get crushed, will be completely mitigated by this Sankirtan mission. So he is saying that Kali is also being a bit extra vigilant, and trying to bring his characteristics too early, fearing that what if the Sankirtan movement will not let him spread his wings. Otherwise, technically, the evil effects will start to manifest towards the fag end of the Yuga. As the Yuga progress, things should get worsened. How come in the early stage of the Yuga itself, the Kali is trying to show some, some of his notoriousness? I mean, one aspect to say that this is just the beginning. There may be much more worsen version of it to come. But even why in such an early stage this is to be shown, he is giving his perspective that because Sankirtan mission is equally, spreading, and the Sankirtan mission are in the hands of wonderful Vaishnavas who carry Krishna in their heart and trying to sow the seed everywhere, carry the seed of Krishna prema everywhere. So my first reflection is about saying that in our Krishna conscious journey, in our Krishna consciousness life, we need to ensure, cross-check, see to that whatever actions we do, we learn to see the inclusion of a devotee, satisfaction of a devotee, happiness of a devotee, and the direction from a devotee of how to do it, systematically. That way, we will be able to spearhead this Sankirtan mission and spread them all over the universe. So, Pundarika Vidyanidhi, according to Caitanya Bhagavata, has come to distribute the loving devotional service, the Krishna prema, that form of love which is not being analyzed from materialistic viewpoint, that form of love which is non-existent in this material world, that form of love which is extremely rare. According to Rupa Goswami Pad in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says how this pure devotional service is extremely rare. It is not something that is easily available. Bhakti sudurlabha, atyanta durlabha prema. Atyanta durlabha prema meaning extremely rare. So this is the first aspect of it. The second aspect of it that I want to highlight is these devotees, when they come, as we say the very famous verse, Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So these devotees, they try to bring in and their physical presence. What do they do by them? What is that blessings in what way that blessings is defined? It is defined by the seed, Bhakti Lata Bij, the seed. The seed of pure devotional service is being carried by these wonderful Vaishnavas wherever they go, to whichever part of this world they go, because Gadadhara Pandit was keen to take the association of Pundarika Vidyanidhi and take initiation from him and follow his footsteps, because he has seen the treasure house of pure love. Gadadhara Pandit, who was always looking at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and was in love with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was always interested in being in that love. And when he saw personification, he couldn't control himself. So he went after him and said, please, please accept me as your disciple. So the second reflection is about the seed that these Vaishnavas bring with them. So this seed of pure love, this seed of Krishna prema, this seed of pure devotional service is explained in 5 stages. Again, thanks to Madhavananda Prabhu for his research on this particular topic. I admire his work and trying to extract Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya's narrations on these deep, important topics. So, he is referring to this Kanupriya Goswami's article on pure devotional service and eventually leading to Krishna Prema. He says this seed of Krishna Prema can be seen in 5 stages. The stage 1 is called Bija Sangragaha, which means gathering the seeds. Second stage is called Arapana, planting the seeds. Third is called Kaila, germination of seeds. Fourth is called Ankura, the seeds sprouting. And fifth is called Falila, they gradually grow and fructify. So why we are harping on the first aspect of it, why the entire Caitanya Charitamrita is centered around Vaishnava relationships. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is about understanding fundamentals of our existence. And of course, establishing a relationship between soul, super soul, and some basic instructions and guidebooks. The Srimad Bhagavatam helps us by the different applications, by different pastimes. It helps us to, live through those instructions. And as we go further up in our learning ladder, Caitanya Charitamrita further refines it and talks about how the Krishna consciousness rests basically on Vaishnava relationships. If Vaishnava relationships are stronger, then devotional services are very strong. So the 5 seed aspect is Bija Sangraha, gathering of seeds. No, you and me are no normal person will be able to go and gather seeds because we do not know to even differentiate between a seed versus weed. That is one of the warnings Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is a poem by name Vaishnava K by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In that, one of the purports Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes, which His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj has translated as a book, where he says, there is a seed and there is a weed. Both look alike. If we are not under an able expert guidance, we may tend to misunderstand a weed for a seed and seed for a weed. So, he's further explaining. So, hence it is important for an expert devotee to carefully guide us in helping and recognizing within ourselves what are the weeds. We might be thinking all the while that I am cultivating a fantastic Krishna conscious Bhakti Lata Bij in my heart, whilst it is being based on some of the, vices within ourselves. So it is important for us to gather the seeds. We may not be able to gather the seeds, but somebody gather the seed. So the process of gathering the seed, so some great Vaishnavas, they are blessed to do that. Then they are coming and helping in Aropana, which means to plant them in our heart. So when we invite Vaishnavas in our lives, that Bhakti Lata Bij gets planted. So you see the transaction in this 7-8 verses. So today I must have gotten up at an auspicious moment, for I have directly seen Prema Nidhi with my own eyes. Prema Nidhi, one who's bestowed of pure love. So I was just thinking, I was just reflecting upon this, that if we have not had Srila Prabhupada and even some of our, senior Vaishnavas in our lives, we may not even know to describe. We may not even know to recognize. We may not even know such great personalities existed, and they were all great personalities. Unless somebody identifies and tells them how great, how special they are, they may sit right next to us, and we will be oblivious. We will not, have any change of heart by having them sitting next to us. So it is a great opportunity that these Vaishnavas come in our life and plant the seeds. And they just not plant and go. What happens? The third stage is called the seeds germinate. For that, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes in Caitanya Charitamrita, which Prabhupada gives a fantastic purport. That purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that one of the important things that are required for us to gain Krishna Prema, which is Sudhurlabha, is negation of offenses. So the verse from Caitanya Charitamrita is, referred. Nira aparade nama laila paya prema dhana. If one avoids the 10 offenses to the holy name, they'll get prema. I'm sure we all know this theoretically. But I'm also sure that persons like me are still struggling to cope up in our own personal devotional services, in our devotional life, to achieve this. So the idea is that the germination of the seed happens when the more amount of time that we spend in trying to relinquish ourselves from offenses, nira aparada, slowly stay away from offenses, stay away from crookedness, stay away from familiarity, stay away from certain aspects of, overconfidence. Then what happens is that slowly our seed that was sown gets fructified. In that article, Madhavananda Prabhu very nicely writes that sometimes this fertile seed is just waiting for to be germinated for a long time. It is just lying idle. It's just waiting for a suitable environment so that it can germinate. Maybe it will wait for a few years. Maybe it will wait for a few lifetimes. So it is not the mistake of Lord or anybody else that if you are not progressing in Krishna consciousness, if I am not progressing in Krishna consciousness, it is subjected to purely about how much I am careful enough in seeing that this Bhakti Lata Bij is germinating. Once it starts germinate, once it starts to, show some results, starts to, the next stage is about Ankura, the seeds sprout, then eventually fructify. So my second reflection is that these Vaishnavas, their meeting, their association, their embrace, their cry, their longing, their interaction, their just presence, Darshane pavitra karo yahi tumhara guna. Brahmanosya mukamasid bahura janya kritaha. Purusha Sukta says, Brahmanosi Mukamasi. Brahmanas are mouthpiece of the Supreme Lord. Vaishnavas are mouthpiece of the Supreme Lord. So this seed, Bhakti Lata Bij, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trying to distribute, he is handing over to these agents. The current theme of Chaitanya Bhagavat that we are studying is, all these are all potential Senapatis. Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, Pundarika Vidyanidhi, Gadadhar Pandit, Govinda, all these people are, what are they doing? They are gathering the seed from our dearest Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is expert in distributing Krishna Prema, who is exclusively come to distribute Krishna Prema. They are carrying and just going everywhere, knocking at people's doors and pleading and distributing them, saying that please come, wake up sleeping souls, wake up sleeping souls. Kota nidra jao maya pishachira kole. So this seed that is sown in our heart, or that is at least delivered to us, what is going to happen to such a person? And yesterday, day before yesterday, we had a very interesting Bhagavat Katha over here in Navi Mumbai. So, in the conversation between Aditi and Kashyapa, so Aditi is explaining to Kashyapa, or is expressing her moroseness because her sons were kidnapped by Rakshasas. So Kashyapa was trying to encourage Aditi not to worry about it and eventually surrender to the Supreme Lord. And whilst explaining her, preaching to her about the glories of surrendering to the Supreme Lord, there is one aspect about surrendering to the Supreme Lord which Kashyapa is explaining to Aditi, which forms my third reflections. And that is, he says, the Lord is Dina Anukampana. Dina Anukampana meaning is very, very merciful personality and is very kind towards his devotees. And the process of devotion is such that it is never going to go in waste. Lord's Bhakti is called Amoga Bhagavad Bhakti. Amoga Bhagavad Bhakti means that devotion which will never go in waste. It will never be futile. The endeavor once put in is always fertile and will remain fertile. It may go slow, depends upon how you facilitate or support them. Otherwise, the nature of this pure devotional services, he is listing multiple natures. One of them is how the Lord is Dina Anukampana. One of them is how the Lord is Satyavadi. And one of them is how the Lord's pure devotional service is, how it is called Amoga Bhagavad Bhakti. Why he is telling all these things to, Aditi was, he was trying to explain Aditi that please rest assured that if you surrender to Krishna, your material problems will become insignificant and you will be situated in eternal peace and happiness. Because he was very morose. Kashyap Muni met Aditi after a long time. He was in meditation, and when he came, when he saw his wife not so happy, he was concerned. So, one of the aspects of the Supreme Lord's pure devotional service, which the seed, when it is fructified, we will realize is that this pure devotional service that being delivered by these great personalities when they walk into our lives is not only going to remain fertile with us, not only going to be useful for us the rest of the lifetime, they will be chasing us down and deliver the result to us, even though we may say we do not want it. So one aspect that Kashyapa Muni is explaining to Aditi is that he is giving the reasons, explaining a reason how in Ritu season, in a rainy season, or when rainy season is over, just the autumn is going to start. He says, a fertile cow, when a bull sees a fertile cow, the bull will go on after the fertile cow to have sex with her. Will go wherever the cow is going. The bull will go after them till it is going to have a union. Similarly, he is giving this comparison. Similarly, in our devotional life, the moment this Bhakti Lata seed is being sown, delivered by this great, wonderful Vaishnavas, what is going to happen? Krishna Bhakti's results are going to chase us. Even though we may say we do not know, we do not want. And they may chase us in multiple forms. For some, it will be coming in the form of, some celebrations. For some, it may come in the form of challenges so that we may give up materialistic things. For some, it may come in the form of success so that we may get more and more closer to Krishna. So the idea is that this pure devotional service results. Srila Prabhupada writes in Teachings of Lord Kapila, Teachings of Queen Kunti, any one of the book, in one of the places it is written, where Srila Prabhupada says, my business was going very smooth. My business was going, all right. But suddenly I saw it was collapsing. I didn't know why it was collapsing. And it went on collapsing, and one fine day, it had to be closed down. And few months from then, I was already executing the direct orders that my Guru Maharaj had given, about which I was contemplating for so many years. So I was just thinking that this business collapse was some sort of unfortunate thing in my life. But later I realized how that was a blessing. I'm just paraphrasing what Srila Prabhupada wrote there. So the idea is that the nature of this Bhakti Lata beej that is sown is that the result of bhakti will chase us down and deliver, provide us with the, provide the blessings to us. And Maharaj was giving, His Holiness Vrndavana Chandra Maharaj was giving a fantastic example. Was giving the example of Sripad Madhavendra Puri's Kheer Chor Gopinath pastime. Madhavendra Puri desired for kheer, then he felt ashamed, he went out, then Gopinath somehow, kept the kheer pot for Madhavendra Puri, gave the, came in the dream of Pujari and made the Pujari deliver the kheer. All those things are glorious. Till that point in time, it was all part of the pure devotion service and, glorification of Madhavendra Puri. But he said what happened next was interesting. When Sripad Madhavendra Puri received the kheer pot, he was very happy because the kheer pot was delivered right in the middle of the night or maybe early in the morning. So he thought that before everybody wakes up and get to hear this news and they come and surround me, he didn't want to have that attention because he was so humbled. He didn't want to take any credit for that particular situation. So he said that I will leave Ramuna immediately. So in the middle of the night, he left Ramuna and went to Jagannath Puri. But it so happened, because the Lord wanted to glorify Madhavendra Puri, by the time Madhavendra Puri reached Jagannath Puri, his glories are already reached there and people are waiting to, worship and glorify Sripad Madhavendra Puri. So the message here is the pure devotional service, the result of pure devotional service is such that when we take shelter of pure devotional service, when we receive the seed from the Vaishnavas, then it is going to chase us. It is going to make sure. So this is never going to be waste. It's never going to be going in futile efforts. Neha vikrama nasosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bayat. So this endeavor that we are all putting in our Krishna conscious journey, that we need to know that none of these endeavors are going to go waste. If it is not going to go in the pace in which it is supposed to be going, we have a lot more to introspect. If we are thinking something else as devotion whilst it is not devotion, we have a lot more to introspect. Once you are sure that you are watering your Bhakti Lata Beej, once you are sure you are in the right association, once you are sure that the association with whom you are and from whom you are learning lessons, they are happy with you and they are blessing you, then be rest assured that our journey ahead is going to be wonderful and nobody can stop us going back home, back to Godhead, because Krishna is waiting for receiving such souls. That is why we always try to say in our devotional culture, seeking blessings, seeking blessings, seeking blessings. The seeking blessings may have, been termed as a formality, but they are not a formality. It is about a mentality. So in our devotional journey, that is why you will see in every pastime of Chaitanya Leela, you will see these interactions, seeking blessings, giving blessings. The famous Panihati Chiddadahi festival, Nityananda Prabhu is teaching how to seek blessings, how to give blessings, how to become the recipient of Lord's, special Krishna prema. So here, Pundarika Vidyanidhi and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so they were together motionless for 3 hours. That much they had a love for each other, and they came in external consciousness and exchanging their notes. So it is important for us to note that even though Vaishnava relationships may be seen or may be perceived something external, but they have nothing to do with this material world. So to summarize our conversation today, so we had 3 sets of reflections. Those 3 reflections are very relevant to this current context, wherein we discussed how Vaishnavas in our lives, Vaishnavas in our projects and activities are itself a blessings. They are definitely supposed to be a part of the project and a focal part of the project. Daksha thought that just I have not invited, Lord Shiva, just one person missed out. But later, Brahma pointed that out, that was a stupidest mistake. The crux of the show was about pleasing Vaishnavas. I didn't go, Vishnu didn't go. What do you think the result of the fire sacrifice have been? So go and, somehow pacify Lord Shiva. Of course, that's a story by itself there. But the message from that I want to pick it up was that how in our lives, so that is why our, In fact, that 4 or 5 days of Hare Krishna Utsav that we were having from lecture from Vrndavana Chandra Maharaj, he was talking about Atiti Seva. How, as a Vaishnava, we might need to be, happily receiving Atitis. And what is become Vaishnavas receiving Vaishnavas? We should be always have a happy heart, happy mentality to receive them. That was the first reflection. And the second reflection that we discussed was how it is that they Vaishnavas, when they come, they carry the seed of pure devotional service, which is Sudhurlabha, which is very, very rare, which is not very easily distributed, not very easily fructified, not many people who have access towards it. So there are 5 stages of seeds that we spoke about. The stage of gathering them. The gathering of the seed is something that is not done by anyone, everyone. So it's called Bija Sangraha, gathering seeds. Aropana, the planting of the seeds. Kaila, the seeds germination. Ankura, the seeds sprouting. And Falila, they gradually grow and fructify. So these stages of seeds where the Bhakti Lata Bij that Vaishnavas carry, when we receive them, we need to see to that they are planted, and somehow by removal of offenses, by negation of offenses, Vaishnava Aparad and Nama Aparad, we will see them sprouting, and we will eventually be able to, see the fruits of pure devotional service. And last but not least, that fruit of pure devotional service, their characteristics are that anyone who are the recipient of them, pure devotional service is Amoha Bhakti. It is never going to go in waste. It is what it is assured of, what it assures, it delivers. And we need to be, we need to consider ourselves very fortunate by being part of this Sankirtan mission, being part of this project of Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, started by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, wherein he is picking up the Patita, the fallen souls, and delivering them, transforming them, giving them the highest form of devotional life through this very, very simplest process. So we will all subscribe in our lives to be part of the Sankirtan mission in our own personal life, as well as to win more and more souls, and eventually bring a smile in the face of Srila Prabhupada. So thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Any questions or comments? I'll be happy to respond.
Hari Bol, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, as usual, with all your realizations. You made us also to realize how a Vaishnava must behave and how he should receive a Vaishnava, and what are the seeds we get from the blessings. We always seek blessings from the Vaishnavas. So that is how our spiritual progress also will be there. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So there are many hand raised. We can, with your permission, we can go to the question and answers. So Parima Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for this wonderful lecture. Prabhuji, I have 2 questions. The first one is, Prabhuji, is gathering of the seeds, can gathering of the seeds count towards gathering of Agyat Sukruti?
Yes, but Agyata Sukruti is not an endeavor that you and me are doing. They are bestowed upon us. It is like people in the war zone in Ukraine, they are getting food packets from ISKCON devotees. They are not doing any endeavor by themselves, but devotees are being kind enough, they are delivering food packets. So Agyata Sukruti is that I don't do any endeavor, but somebody else's kindness is making this coming upon us. So Agyata Sukruti, we don't have any personal role in Agyata Sukruti. Agyata Sukruti means it's a role of kind-hearted devotees who knows how weak we are, and they are trying to, give some blessings. But yes, that is equally considered as, gathering of seeds and delivering to us.
But Prabhuji, if we make, we may not be in a very pure state, but if we make some efforts that, if I do this, maybe I will get that seed of bhakti. if I do this, maybe I'll get that seed of bhakti, but I'm still probably in a conditioned state. So does that also consider?
Yes, it is
effort.
considered as it is definitely considered as seeking for the seed. I am saying that collection of seed, according to my understanding, collection of seed is done by an expert. It is not done by a person who is novice, because we can seek for the seed, but the seed deliverance and collection of the seed happens because we do not know to discriminate between which is a seed, which is a weed. So it is, we can definitely, it's like a suffering soul. I may need a solution, but what is the right solution for my suffering? I may not be able to decide. So I'm only screaming like a child crying for the mother. I can cry. So that much credit is given to us, that because you're crying, because you're struggling, because you're fighting, because you're endeavoring, because you're eager, some credit brownie points are given to us. But you're crying, pleading, all those things should be directed towards the right source. That is something that we need to make sure. Rest, everything else is taken care. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, that's I have a follow-up question. Prabhuji, how do you know, the seed and the weed, can you give an example? Because I did understand, but if you can give us an example, that if we consider something as a seed and it's actually a weed, just an example to help me explain, understand better.
Many a times in our devotional service, we do things supposed to be doing things for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. But in the endeavor of doing that service, if the pleasure is for your own self-pleasure and not for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, even though the action might be the same, but because the target is changed, so one is considered as a weed, another is considered as a seed. So idea is that I am performing some aspect of devotional service with the mentality of puja, lava, pratishta, for name, fame and adoration, for some sort of personal gain. The whole narrative of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj and Bhakti Vinod Thakur, their genre of writing, you will see two things. Bhakti Vinod Thakur's writings and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's writings, you will see two things very clearly standing out. They lash us out on hypocrites and they teach us how to plead. So they do two things. One is they constantly, Bhakti Vinod Thakur also, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, they constantly whip on the students back, saying that please don't be a pretender, please don't try to be a hypocrite. And they also teach us how to plead, how to cry, how to seek blessings. So what I want to say is that I can give this example, but there are gray areas in what I'm saying. Say, for example, I am trying to perform a service to the Lord. I made a garland for the Lord. I will definitely get some sukriti for sure. But when I made the garland, but the intention of my making the garland for the Lord is for my self, name, fame, or some credit or some sort of profile building, and I try to identify myself towards that, then it may give a slow result. Anything direct, indirect service to the Supreme Lord will always give us results. So that way, we don't worry. So the word weed is a little an intense word, because there are Kali chelas. Because Kali sometimes takes the garb of devotion and try to deceive us. So that deception, we have to be very careful. Sometimes we are the garb of a devotee. In 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains to Arjuna, Arjuna, never be a pretender. Why he says that? Because the Kali Yuga, one of the effect of Kali Yuga is to show that face to us. So we need to be very careful, and that is why we have to be always exposing ourselves in the assembly of Vaishnavas, who will keep a check on ourselves if we are not falling trapped to the weed and just going after the seed. Am I making some sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the clarification, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji, for that question. It was very, even I also understood from Prabhuji's explanation. Thank you, Prabhuji, for clearing that. Shukakar Krishna Prabhu, please go ahead.
We have to unmute yourself. Okay.
Mataji, can you unmute Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji. Hare Krishna, Ramgiridhāri Prabhu. After a long time, I am not ready for so much time. Prabhu, Prabhu, this burning of the karmas, prarabdha karma, what is the way? I know that chanting will burn, but any particular way we'll know that whether because there are so many lives of karmas coming back to back. So is there any process to burn the karmas?
I was told, and it is I can get reference also. The day the disciple gets initiated, that is the day where all the karma along with its seeds, they are burnt. The effect of the manifested karma may still sustain, but the seed as well as anything that germinated once, they all are burnt. The whole effect is when I say Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine, when I fall at his feet and he accepts me, that I accept you as my disciple, that very process on that day, all my karma up till that point in time, prarabdha, apararabdha, kutam, bijam, all the four of them are finished. Having said that, Jayapataka Maharaj only said this in one of the class, that the effect of the previously issued karmic effect may still linger for some point in time. Further, he has given a fantastic example. He said that the fan is rotating and you turn off the fan, and for some time the fan takes to stop. You need to be intelligent enough not to turn on the fan again. So when it is about to get stand still, if you turn it down or try to do some notorious things, then you may have to go in the vicious circle. But technically speaking, the Guru takes full effect of past and give us clean chit. And it is said that from that point in time, every apparent mistakes are attributed towards aparadha. In the sense, not in a manner that you are, suppose if we are doing something wrong in devotional service, then it has got, we have a responsibility towards it. Let me put it that way. As a practicing devotee, we are supposed to be responsible. That is why initiation is a day where we are making a commitment to say that I am ready to become a serious practitioner. And knowing that we will continue to make mistakes, the process will also give us paschatap arrangement where everyday Guru Puja. Why everyday Guru Puja being done to spiritual master? That when you do Guru Puja to the spiritual master, you do three things. One, you are saying thank you to him. Second, you are saying sorry to him. Third is you are giving a report to him. If you don't do Guru Puja, you have no option of telling all these three things. Why you say thank you, Gurudev? Because of your blessings, I have got this opportunity that I am able to, in spite of me, I am in Krishna consciousness. Sorry, Gurudev, that in spite of your blessings, I am still making mistakes. I will improve. Please, keep me in your shelter. Third is, this is the report, my dear Gurudev, that I did this so service to you. If I don't do service, what will report? If I don't report, how will I do service? So that is why Prabhupada kept this arrangement of daily Guru Puja, because every day when we do Guru Puja, we do these things. So these two combinations help us to help the train of devotion on the track. Everyday Guru Puja, in which we offer to push. These are not procedural. Procedural aspect is only 10%. The intention aspect is 90%. But I say thank you, Gurudev. Thank you so much. Sorry, Gurudev, for my mistakes. And here is a report. I chanted well. I served well. I'm doing this project. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. What is that report every day? Which means you have to suppose to perform a service which you can report every day. If you have been a corporate leader, we take daily scrum in the office. So in everyday scrum, you would ask, "Arey, kal kya kiya? Aaj kya kiya? Hua kya nahi hua?" So to that level of clarity, a person can strike a chord with one's spiritual master. Making sense, Prabhu?
Super, Prabhu. Super. Fantastic. But what we find is we are doing so many things. And now also knowingly, unknowingly, some aparas are coming. Will that also will become like karma? Because not that we are doing any sinful activity, but there are so many things. Vaishnava aparad, even non-Vaishnava aparad also, to unknown and other people also. So just wanting to know how we can be 100% sure that we are going back to God in this life.
I do not want to be misquoted here, but the idea is that when a person is into the Gaudiya Vaishnava lifestyle, he is by default given a shielding. In a sense, because he is a devotee, he can, utilizing the blessings, he can easily evade so many so-called obligations and not doing certain obligations. Like for example, according to our grahastha life, I am supposed to perform certain obligations. I'm supposed to look after pitrus. I'm supposed to look after other jivas. I'm supposed to look after
animals.
So I am saying that if I am busy in my Guru Maharaj service, if I'm busy in my devotional service, those obligations are forgiven. Those obligations are taken care by karza koi chuka hai. Because you are in government, only government vehicle, toll is taken care by government. So
yes.
So that is a kind of shielding that we get. But don't misuse that vehicle. Many times we just on government duty dal ke hum BV ko gumar leke jaye.
No.
Then somebody will chase you.
That's very good, fantastic point. But that means if you can see Krishna in all activities, if you are so conscious that you see that because it's not that CCTV is there or not. Hey Baba, it's there. Paramatma is inside, outside, Chaitya Guru, everything is there. If you are 100% conscious of everything you do, I think then that itself is a shield to see that we get away. But finally, it's Krishna's final mercy to take back or not is up to him. But
it is. One small point, Roji. Krishna's mercy only subjected to our desires. I will give this example. I think I mentioned this before also. Mumbai local morning Kurla station, 8 o'clock. The technique to board the train is make sure you stand in front of the gate with a person in front of you, with a person behind you. You don't need to do any endeavor. You will be inside the train. So that endeavor is yours. So Krishna say, how did you board the train? I do not know. Somebody put me in. But what endeavor you did, you made sure that you had somebody in front of you, somebody behind you. Who is at front of you? Gurudev. Who is behind you? Vaishnava.
Jai.
So you are sandwich. So that is why a Vaishnava can become a sandwich in between middle portion, being sandwich at two ends. So definitely it is Krishna's mercy only, but proportionate to our desire. No, sir, I do not know Bombay. I don't know where I want to say. I'm waiting for the train to be empty.
No.
You'll have to wait for 4 hours to get the train to be empty. You will never be able to board. So you have to have that, have that intelligence. That's only what Krishna is asking us to do. Utilize that intelligence that I give you to make sure you utilize your resources in a manner so that I can help you.
Yes, very good. I'm asking so many questions. Don't feel bad.
No, Prabhu. Your questions are for me, so I'm learning. Thank you.
No. So one devotee gave the question today. He said the 3 regulatory principles we are not done when we are animal. Like having beer and whiskey, we didn't do it when we are animal, and we are not smoking cigarette when animal. And killing an animal, jiva. It's not they are supposed to do nothing wrong. But the illicit sex we are doing from so many lives, so that's why it's very difficult to clear up that. And free will is a thing that which can be misused. Somebody asked the Prabhupada that whether sannyasis also will have the sexual desire. Yeah, it may be there, but only thing they bring so much Krishna everywhere, they don't get that thing. So that is the fourth, the biggest thing, which is and the andakale chamameva some desire should not creep in, or your daughter is there, son is there, then because that it will come back again. How to get rid of everything and just have only Krishna, nothing else. I'm asking so many things, don't feel bad.
Last session, in my last session, I mentioned this. Mamayvamso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana manasastani indriyani
prakristani karshati.
The word karshati means what? Struggle.
Struggle.
What Krishna says, you have to anyway struggle. Last class I mentioned this point. You have to anyway struggle. Now choose which side of struggle you want to. The idea is, Vaishnavas, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj once mentioned in one of the classes, I'm talking about 20 years before, he gave a class in Zurich to a brahmacharis. He said, sannyasis and sadhus, it is not that they do not have impulses. They know to struggle to fight against those impulses. The difference between a sadhu and others are, so they know to struggle. So, if any time in your Krishna consciousness, if you want to hold on to one quality, is never give up, keep fighting. You may keep losing, but keep fighting. The idea is that because you are tending to fight, Krishna will make sure he will always provide the necessary support system to, the day you give up, that's the day Kali will take over and Maya will take over. Finally this guy has given up, now it's time for us to, So the day we keep struggling, in my interview, Anita Mataji took an interview on devotional life newsletter. So she asked how you are able to be such a wonderful devotee, and she said whatever she has to say. I said there's no wonderful in my life, but if at all I want to take one credit, is that I have not stopped fighting. I am constantly struggling to fight. I am saying fight itself is a struggle, but I am saying let us not, because what happens is that when we come to Krishna consciousness, we hear in different classes how it is easy, glorious, happy. So we somehow map it and start to feel, oh my God, it's never easy for me, I am struggling. So this struggle will be there because this nature of this material world, nature of the conditioning that we have, so the struggle will be there. The day you give up the struggle, it is like a pregnant lady. A lady to deliver the child, there will be struggle, but there's a happiness associated with that struggle. So I am saying that all of us, we need to program our head saying that I should not stop struggling. Illicit sex is a difficult one. Keep fighting, keep struggling, keep fizzling out, but keep standing up again and fight. Standing up again and fight, because hamare piche Bhagavan hai. Don't tell, Krishna all your problems. Go and tell your problems, I have Krishna. It is easily said than done. Maybe we should look, keep the problems in the altar and say, hey, look at my Lord. Ye tumhara jo bagal mein khada hai, mere Bhagavan hai. So maybe the problems will run away. So the idea is that, so we all are, as devotees, this Bhakti Sangha group was a very nice name, is because when I fizzle out, somebody else picking up. When he's whistling out, she's picking up. When he's picking out, she's picking up. So as a Sangha, alone I may be fizzling out, but when I am somehow or other putting myself aage bhi devotee, piche bhi devotee, then at least I have a hope for me to do karshat. I can struggle. At least I can happily struggle. Okay, I will never, have any problem. That's the idea.
That means perseverance to fight.
Thank you.
Continuously.
Yes,
Perseverance
yes,
to fight. And Krishna Bulya Jiv Bhagwan se paachta ke maaya se japadiya dhare. I think we have to keep chanting and fighting and keeping the holy name always. That is the only hope. Thank you so much.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Very well. Thank you.
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Mataji.
Prahaladan Prabhu.
Dhanvat Pranam Mataji and Dhanvat Prabhuji, everyone. Pai Lagu. Prabhuji, I have just one request. This Madhvananda Prabhu's lecture, is it available anywhere I could read?
Yeah. It is not a lecture. It was just a small piece of article. I will, share that as we speak. I will share that.
Sure. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. And the other realization I had was, as you were saying, all the reverses in our life eventually are Krishna's blessings. This I have personally seen in my life. I moved to US in 95, and then for last so many years, I saw so many reverses, not in my own professional life, but also my son's life and all this. And eventually at 70 now, I see all these were really blessings, I never expected this much return from, whatever little, even aparadhi bhakti which I have done. My son recently bought a house of $3 million. I never dreamt this in my life. So what I'm saying is Bhagavan Krishna is so kind, and Prabhupada Maharaj Mercy is so, it's like that. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Pai Lagu again. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. I am pasting that article in the chat window, Prabhuji. You can pick it up from there.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhuji.
I hope
Thank
it
you,
allows me to.
Prabhu. Kirtida Mataji.
Oh, maybe it's not
Kirtida
allowing that.
Mataji. So.
Yeah, sorry.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the excellent session, Prabhuji. I have one question, Prabhu, because the point that you were mentioning that this while doing devotional service to Lord Shri Krishna, all our prarabdha, putam, bijam, everything gets destroyed. Right? So why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Bhagavad Gita commentary, he says that for one whose heart has become purified, I destroy completely whatever karma has been generated, with an exception of prarabdha karma. He says that this devotional service destroys all reactions, both pious and sinful, all that is there except prarabdha karma or matured reactions. And also, there is a famous saying about Ashyame bhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham, like whatever shubh or ashubh we have done, ultimately we have to bear no matter.
Yeah, so when I explained to Supika Prabhu, I did mention this. Maybe I may not have been very explicit. So all the four going forward, whatever that was manifested. I mean, for example, if prarabdha is like a manifested karma. I have been born blind. So by doing pure devotional service, I will not get my eyes back, because that is a manifested, fructified, awarded karma. So those things we will not be able to go back. So that we will have to, endure throughout the, current life. So I personally, wanted to say that maybe I may have not highlighted it enough. So I had that point was Vishwanath saying exactly what Prabhupada also mentions. Prarabdha, manifested karma, will have to be endured because it's already manifested. You're right. I'm sorry in case if I was not clear earlier.
Okay. So prarabdha never gets destroyed, right?
Yes, prarabdha. Prarabdha that gets manifested. See, basically, what I meant is that they don't acquire any more further new into their account, but what got fructified is fructified. I born lame, I born deaf,
and
I born dumb.
Due to that manifested prarabdha, whatever shubh is yet to manifest, we have to bear it.
Some there are considered as the effect of prarabdha only. They may not be considered as as Sukha Sagari was saying, some prarabdhas after effects could be mitigated. Like for example, I am blind and I may have to go through some intense pain in my life, but because I took up Krishna consciousness, certain things may be made easier for me. But I will still may have to go through the pain of being blind. So Krishna reduces the pain as much as there's a window for him to reduce. But what he can't, or what is not destined to be, so that is something we have to go through then.
So bottom line, should I understood that the prarabdha gets destroyed or it never gets destroyed?
Prarabdha is not getting destroyed, but the after effects of prarabdha, some of them are mitigated. Apararabdha, kutam, bijam is completely uprooted.
Yeah. That I completely understand.
Yeah. Prarabdha generally means manifested, which means they are not changed in this life, but they don't. They don't need to be. Their effects and after effects may not be able to read further results. It will be stopped there only. Full stop there.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Let me check if there are any questions in the chat. Thank you so much.
Prabhu, I think I'm not able to post the entire message. Maybe if you can give me your email ID, I will share the article, Prabhu. In that chat window, I'm not able to share the entire big message.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji, please share it. Thank you so much for sharing it, a few points. So more we can expect on the chat. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your wonderful
Prabhuji, is
message.
it possible if you can share that entire article to either Preeti Vilasni or myself, and then
I'll do that.
you can share it on the description box, or so that it's
I'll share
accessible
it
to
to either of you.
everybody.
We can circulate. No problem.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank
We
you.
all need it, Prabhu. We all need it.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, please sing one bhajan by the permission of all senior Vaishnava.
Oh, yes. I will sing one bhajan, which is relevant
Prabhuji,
to
there is a question in chat box of Manmohan.
how
Prabhu.
to know that what we are experiencing is prarabdha or not. Oh, good question. So, okay, prarabdha, the technical definition of prarabdha is manifested results. I done some mistake, and for which I have already been awarded a punishment. And there are some mistakes for which punishments are yet to be awarded. And there is something where I have not yet committed a mistake, but I may tend to commit a mistake. And there is a seed of propensity that will make me committing mistake. These are the 4 effects of karma. Prarabdha, apararabdha, kutam and bijam. So the 3 of them, the results yet to manifest, the propensity and the seed, all of them are completely uprooted when you take up devotional service. The results that are manifested, generally manifested result means I have been born deaf, dumb, lame, blind, or whatever, specific, disfiguredness, or some specific where permanent damage is there, and it is generally not irreversible. So those are all classified as prarabdha. Then there are certain things which are all effects and after effects of prarabdha, which the intensity of them is either reduced, and the devotee is led to a very peaceful life. So Vaisnava Chakravarti Thakura gives a very nice explanation. Madhurya Kadamini explains this also nicely. I hope I've answered you, Prabhu. Okay, I will sing a song which is a very famous song, famous in the Vaishnava circle, Gaudiya Vaishnava circle. This song is called Vrndavana, Vasi, Jata, Vaishnavera, Gana. So this is a song written by Devaki Nandan Das, so who is none other than Gopala Chappal. So this song, where the background of this song is that Gopala Chappal, when he developed Kushroga, leprosy, he is finding it very difficult to maintain himself. He's going to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asking to somehow cure him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, not even in this life, how much ever life you take, I am going to be oblivious to this, unless otherwise Srivas Thakur is going to forgive you. You have to suffer for your mistakes. So then eventually Gopala Chappal is coming and asking forgiveness to Srivas Thakur. And Srivas Thakur is forgiving him and directing him to a person by name Purushottam Das Thakur. So that Purushottam Das Thakur is initiating Gopala Chappal as Devaki Nandan Das and instructing him to, compose, glorify Vaishnavas as a service for the rest of the life. So that guy who had offended Srivas Thakur, who went to the extent of insulting Srivas Thakur, is now glorifying Vaishnavas. It's a beautiful song. I will read the meaning of them. For everyone's benefit, I have copied the link of that. So the meaning of this song is like this. First of all, I offer glorifications to the feet of all the Vaishnavas of Vrndavana, praising of all of Mahaprabhu's Neelachala associates, I prostrate at their feet. I pray for loving attachment to the lotus feet of all of Mahaprabhu's Navadvipa Bhaktas. I offer pranamas at the feet of all of Mahaprabhu's Gauda Desha Bengal devotees. With upraised arms, I pray to the feet of all of Gauranga's Bhaktas, in whichever country they may reside. Holding a straw between my teeth, I submit at the feet of all the servants of Mahaprabhu that were or will be. I have heard their glorification in the Vedas and Puranas, which proclaim that each one of his devotees has the Shakti to deliver an entire universe. Hearing of their glory, I have come with great eagerness to surrender to Mahaprabhu's Bhaktas, who are all Patita Pavana for sinners like me. What power do I have to glorify them? But out of my ignorance and unmitigating pride, I do so anyway, thinking myself so qualified. Even though I am dumb, I am unable to express their greatness, still my heart is joyful due to my great good fortune that the Vaishnavas have accepted me as their own, and Sri Gurudeva has given me Harinama full of blissful pastimes. Forgive the faults of this fallen soul and make me your servant. They award the perfection of all desires, including freedom from death and even the rarest treasure not found in this world, prema. All of one's pure, heartfelt desires will be fulfilled without delay. Devaki Nandan Das, intensely eager for this, glorifies and prays to the Vaishnavas. It's an appropriate song. In fact, this song, several serious Gaudiya Vaishnava practitioners, how we sing daily Guru Puja, they sing this song on a daily basis because the mood is about repentance, mood is about glorification, mood is about acknowledgement, how their presence in our lives are the only hope for our devotional life. So maybe some of you can, try this out on a daily basis. It sets our mood very nicely. Vrndavana Vasi Jata Vaishnavera Gan Pratame Vandana Kari Sabara Charan. Vrndavana Vasi Jata Vaishnavera Gan Pratame Vandana Kari Sabara Charan. Neelachala Vasi Jata Mahaprabhur Gan Bhumite Podiya Valdon Sabara Charan. Neelachala Vasi Jata Mahaprabhur Gan Bhumite Podiya Valdon Sabara Charan. Navadvipa Vasi Jata Mahaprabhur Bhakta Sabara Charana Valdon Ayanurakta. Mahaprabhu Bhakta Jata Gauda Deshe Sthiti Sabara Charana Valdon Kariya Pranati. Je deshe boise Gaurange Ragan Urdhva Bahu Kari Valdon Sabara Charan. Hoya Chene Hoi Bene Prabhur Jata Das Sabara Charana Valdol Dante Kari Ghas. Brahmanda Tarite Shakti Dhare Jane Jane E Veda Purane Gunagaye Jeva Sune. Mahaprabhur Gana Sabha Patita Pavan Tailo Be Muhi Papi Loinu Sharan. Vandana Karite Muhi Kata Shakti Dhari Tamo Buddhi Doshe Muhi Damba Matra Kari. Tatapi Mukera Bhagya Manera Ullas Dosakshami Moadami Karani Jadas. Sarva Vancha Siddhihaya Yama Balda Chute जगते दुर्लभ होय प्रेम धन लुटे मनेर वासन पूर्ण अचिराते हाय देवकी नंदन दास ये लो बेकाय जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद थैंक यू
Thank you, Prabhuji. Koti koti dandavat pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for a very nice class and very nice bhajan also. So I don't see any more questions. So with your permission, can we end the call here, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your association, valuable time and association, and we want your association in future also with all your realizations. And devotees, let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalparupasya kripa sindhu pevacha
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्री राम
जय जय
गिरिधारी प्रभु जी की
Jai.
जय so much
Oh,
Prabhuji.
Gauranga,
Koti koti dandavat
Hare Krishna,
pranam.
Nityananda,
Prabhuji.
Nityananda, Gauranga.